just the immense craziness that, is today's market with, 30 offers or 10 offers on a house, and you have a buyer in there, and, we have agents, kind of showing lots and lots of houses and lots of offers and not getting, not getting anything, because they're getting beat out, just because there's so many offers. So we'll kind of get into that and start working on that today, and work on it Monday as well. But kind of wanted to start today with, trying to get, think outside the box and figure out where we can get listings. So, expireds for sale by owners. So they've been around, forever, obviously. But just kind of, thinking of them as actual listing opportunities. So, we know, there may not be a ton of expireds happening in today's market, because, if the house is listed right and it's priced right, it's pretty much selling pretty quick. So, but at the same time, we know there are listings out there that might be a little overpriced, maybe didn't look as good in pictures or in description, maybe just not the most ideal location, who knows? So there are listings listings that are expiring, of course, that our goal would be to figure out kind of why they didn't sell, see if we can help the seller change some things or fix some things marketing wise or whatever, price, and then, potentially get them as a new listing and have it sell. So we'll kind of look at those for sale by owners. We have a lot of our agents that are currently working for sale by owners, more than they ever have, more than they ever would. But it's also because, you got a buyer and there's a house that's listed that you didn't get, and there's one right next door that's a for sale by owner. You're going to knock on the door and go, hey, I have a potential buyer for your home. Or would you be interested in working with me if my folks like it? So that they're happening, of course, more and more often. And then we'll dabble into, obviously we talked a lot about sphere and farming last session. So we'll touch on that as well. So, expired listing, just so you guys know, especially if you're newer, obviously a listing that was, listed with an agent, for a period of time. So when we go list a home, everyone's time frame's different. Mine's minimum 6 months, and I actually shoot for a year. Even in today's market, just because you never know. I don't want to deal with, losing it 6 months after I kind of put some energy and effort into it. So I kind of shoot for a year to list it. But once that period, has gone by and it didn't sell, technically, the house expired, and you can extend it if you're the listing agent, but sometimes the sellers, decide, hey, we're going to do something else. We're not going to sell, or, hey, we need a new agent, that type of thing. So that is what an expired listing is. So, the one thing we have to realize, and this will, this will be this way, for forever, is when a seller lists their house, like, they want to sell, they actually they kind of think it's like we're moving, like we are selling our home. So they in their mind, they have sold their home when they list it, they know it's not, totally done, but in their mind, they're like, man, when should, they're already thinking like, when should we start packing? I know we don't have to do it today, but like, how much time will we have to actually be out of the house? So you just realize that, in their mindset, they are selling their home. They're not hoping it sells. They are selling their home, and in our thinking about moving. So obviously they used an agent. And this is kind of where this is where the clients realize maybe a change is needed, or hey, what happened is that like, why didn't like our house didn't sell? Like, you're telling us we aren't moving, that I don't, like we're not going to get that house or upsize or downsize, or we're not going to Florida right now because our house didn't sell. So so us, sort of having a conversation with, with sellers that, of the process is one, but, this also, when a listing does expire, then, or is getting close, and the sellers are frustrated and like, geez, we're like, what happened? And then they realize, oh, geez, what went wrong? That's when a new agent has a chance to come in and say, hey, this is how I work. I take professional pictures. This is the marketing that I do. So it's just important to know that you guys, that we have the opportunity to have a great conversation with, with some folks, that have listings that have been on the market for a while or are expiring, if that opportunity comes up to chat with them. So, the one thing that does lead to is I can't just, listing expires, they even give me a shot to chat with them, or I get face to face with them, they are suspicious. They're like, oh, geez, are you just like the agent that I had that I thought was going to sell my house and didn't? And, you guys are all the same, you kind of hear it. You could hear a client saying that, like, you guys are all the same, that type of thing. So, so we just, I just love having a talk track, both expireds and for sale by owners, that, I'm not I'm not a hero. I'm not gonna, I can't say I'm going to come in and I will sell it. But what I can say is, well, I did notice some things that, that might have led to it not selling. One thing in our market is, there are some agents that may say some things to get a listing, and not, not illegal. I'm saying, if the house is, $299 and they say it's $349, just to try, like, man, we didn't know it was worth that much. We're going to give you the listing. Then it sits there and doesn't sell. That agent wasn't honest that it was really a $299 house. So, there's just some things that they can say, or, they can say, hey, this is what I do. And then when they list it, they actually don't do anything. They don't do any marketing. They don't put it on social. So again, not illegal, but, not kosher with, so you got to kind of come in and really, this is the way, we talk a lot about value propping ourselves. So, it's huge to value prop yourself, to make sure that, that you are, first of all, value prop, this is how I work, but then follow it up with working that way. This is the way I market. This, house will be, on social within 24 hours of listing. Be honest with them when you're talking about, listing their house, working with them, buyer or seller, just be honest with them and actually do what you say you're going to do. So, so we have a chance to come in and not say, blah, 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 but say, hey, I just want to give me 5 minutes. Let me just chat about how I work. And maybe I can tell you what I, the reasons I think your home may not have sold. And if you can do that, you just start with that. They're always willing to listen to at least that. They will give you a shot to basically say, okay, and then as you're kind of value propping yourself also by saying, yeah, I just think the price is too high for the market, or I take professional pictures. I think that kind of marketing would, could help in marketing your home. So those are just some things, but basically realizing that, like an expired an expired seller is pretty angry with all real estate agents at that point. So, and that's the key, like, might still want to move. So in reality, they probably do, but they're really disappointed. It's like, geez, do I want it? And they're just thinking, do I want to go through that again, another 6 months or another year? There's a lot on their mind. So you don't just come in here super strong and bull by the horns kind of thing. We often tiptoe and reach out to them and give them some nuggets. Again, to kind of show why you're different than other agents. So, you know, the one thing that I like to do is, you know, obviously I watch the market every day and check expireds. And if listings expire, I'm anxious to kind of figure out, you know, where you know, I just immediately where the property is. You know, is it something I do want to pursue? Because I don't want to pursue, you know, in you know, just every listing. I don't pursue every listing that expires, but I will check out the listing. First of all, you know, is it something that I'm interested in? You know, like would I take this listing if you know, if I could, or you know, if I could get it. And then I'm also, you know, then my second piece is geez, why did this expire? I immediately will go to, like, you know, and I look at the agent's pictures, I look at the price, and I look at the description. So those three things will tell me, like, you know, will lead to, like, oh geez, the pictures are good. Okay, you know, pictures aren't good, horrible, which happens a lot. You know, and then price, like, you know, I don't know, it's priced right, or you know, is it way over, or some, you know, there are reasons why it didn't sell. Every home will sell if it's priced right for the condition it's in. So if it, you know, isn't perfect, well, don't price it like it's perfect. You know, if it's perfect, you know, whatever, don't price it 50 grand over just because you think you can. You know, so we're kind of looking at all of those. And then, you know, then we'll be, you know, then I have a you know, a platform where we could reach out to them and you know, see if they're still interested in having a chat with them about why I think it, you know, may not have sold. So, but the one thing that we can do is, because there's not a lot now, you know, things are obviously popping off the market, is we can actually go in the MLS and search just expireds. So, you know, I don't want to know the actives right now, just look for expireds and go back 18 months. And just run them. And you can, you know, start with, because there'll be a lot, you know, that just pop up, and we know they could have been, you know, relisted and sold and things. But, you know, so you can go, you know, hey, I want to start with, you know, all the expireds in the last 18 months in this school district. I want to start with this price range and just go, you know, 150 to 250, or, you know, whatever you want, whatever your market is sort of showing. You know, obviously you can do a zip code, you can do a school district, you know, anything, you know, ranches, condos, you know, whatever size homes. So just kind of know that you have that, you know, opportunity to go further back and go, man, like before this market was crazy, before COVID, you know, at the beginning of COVID, you know, some things were happening, like, can I go find a listing that someone might still want to sell, or maybe they paused during the whole COVID thing and haven't, you know, sort of fired it back up to see, you know, maybe no one's reached out to them to go, hey, you know, so kind of just realizing, you know, that's an opportunity for you to, you know, to maybe go find a listing that other people have forgot about. And the idea is if we catch it before they reach back out to their agent or reach out to another agent, because now they're, you know, they're ready to list, you know, we have a shot at catching them, you know, before that, and potentially, you know, chatting with them and getting that listing. So that's kind of huge as to what we're, you know, what we're thinking about when we get to expireds. But they are out there. There are good listings that expire. It's just a matter of, you know, why they expired. So then once I pull that list, so I'm going to pull a list, it'll have, you know, let's say there's 20 houses on it, you know, could be 50, could be 100, who knows? You know, I actually, you know, before I just reach out to them, I need to do a little research. So, you know, you know, I'm going to go back in the MLS and just look for that one house and go actives to solds. So I'm going to go in 123 Main Street and just see if it was relisted, you know, if it ended up selling, you know, whatever the data was I can get on 123 Main Street, I'm going to actually pull that and see if it never did sell, then it's one I can pursue. But sometimes you'll see, like, oh man, it got listed by a new person, so it didn't, you know, expired, but it got listed by a new person. So, you know, so obviously we just cross that one off. But, you know, then also knowing, you know, yeah, did it sell, you know, one way or another? You know, then you can see, like, man, did the agent listed it, you know, like 250 and then reduced it to 240 and then 230 and 220 and it, you know, it still never sold? well, then it was priced too high. I probably should have just started at 220 and probably would have sold. So were there any price reductions? So we're kind of learning as much as we can about that home and the history of it to have that better conversation when I get to actually chatting with the seller when I get to that point. And then of course, just as simple as how long was the property on the market? So, was it a month and it sort of got pulled, or they said, hey, pull it. So when I talk about expired, you could also peek at withdrawns. So sometimes you'll see, withdrawns, kind of the same concept. Like someone put it on the market and then likely when it's withdrawn, they were like, oh, gee, we've decided not to sell. So different talk track when if you think you want to reach out to them, like, hey, I saw you were listed, not that you expired, but you just obviously you decided for some reason to not sell. I'm just kind of reaching out to see if maybe if you rethought about it, would you sell if you had the right buyer come along. So 2 conversations, but also very valuable with with kind of having as much knowledge as we can, and then having that conversation. And I'll just say, along with everything that's in the MLS and the previous listing, you get a lot of data there. So you have a lot of data about the house. You can also take that in there. We did a session, probably a month or a month and a half ago about on RPR, which is Realtors Property Resource. So you get it once you've part of the MLS. You get access to RPR, and RPR is just that program that allows you to do a deep dive into each property. So property or information directly from the from public sources and things like that. So maps and data and exactly how big the house is, and just a bunch of data on the house. So so a great resource to kind of combine what you got from the MLS, and then a chance to look at RPR as well. So then you kind of get all that data, and then at that point you are just in a better place to chat with who could be potentially a very suspicious, maybe angry, seller that, like if you reach out to them, I say angry, they're not, screaming at you, but they are, like, oh, gee, another agent, because they just got disappointed by one. And then I'll just talk a little bit about, I talk a lot about pictures. So pictures are extremely important. In my, in actually every market, because I do look around in all our markets, but in my market in particular, it's so embarrassing. There are agents that are still taking pictures, not only with their phone, just snapping a few pictures, getting a corner. Like you see like 3 foot of the wall in the room. And that's what, they think that's, a little bit of floor or something, it's brutal. So, obviously, when you see bad pictures, you don't go, geez, your agent took horrible pictures, but what I will do is I will have a listing where I took professional pictures. And when I say professional pictures, I take them myself. I just bought a maybe $300 camera. Wide angle lens. It was probably 300. So maybe I'm in at 600. I've had it 8 years. I don't have a huge setup, but I'm able to take, wide angle lens. I can stand in the corner of the room and get almost, get 3 full walls in it, so it's not like you have to pay to do it. So, but just taking them professionally, I talk about taking professional pictures. I will show them a listing that I do with the pictures I do, and then show them their listing. In between the chance of the pictures being bad and maybe the description being brutal, I kind of point out some things, and then they have them realize, that pictures and description matter, and then it gets to price and marketing after that. So I'm going to just finish this, and I'm going to pause for a second, just see if you guys have any questions or want to chat. So if you have anything, please, or anyone has any experience to this point about, potential expired or any questions on, how to further go about it, please let me know. So I check this every day, and I don't know, there's something about, at least for me, working expireds, kind of a little bit of a, like, I'm going to get one, I'm going to get one today. So I kind of work them consistently. So, also the one thing you can't do is, I can't reach out to them once, and either not get them or, I can't send one email and go, oh, gee, I did it, and I don't know, they didn't reach back out to me, so don't be afraid to call them. They were listed, so they wanted to sell. So I don't have to, they may be grumpy now, but I don't, I'm not going to have to, I may ask them if they're still interested in selling, but I'm not have to ask them from start if they're interested in moving, because they were, so, and then just ask them if you can have 5 minutes of their time, in person, fine, Zoom, fine, get what you can on the call. But kind of just, when you got that first 30-second elevator pitch, put one together that basically you're selling yourself, and that you just love, you're not promising anything, but you'd love to just chat with them and get their feel as to, why their house didn't sell. And then anytime you start pulling the heartstrings a little bit, like, you're like, yeah, we are frustrated it didn't sell. And then it kind of opens the door for you, obviously, to get in there and then start, giving your spiel and what you do and what you think, the reasons where it didn't sell and what you do different to get it sold. So there's a lot in there. But just trying once won't do it. I mean, if you're able to leave a message, follow up in 3 days, send them a handwritten note after that, something to, just sort of stay with it. And then, and then like I said, I watch them every single day, and there's not every day, but every day there's, every, probably 5 times a week, there are one or more that I'm interested in. And then I'll kind of go through my process, and that's just, check the MLS out, make sure nothing happened, get some data on the seller, reach out to them one way I can, and then kind of see if I can get it. And, and then of course, kind of set a goal like, hey man, if I do 5, I want to at least chat with 1 or 2, and then I want to, if the 2, I want to get, see if I can get in the house in 1 of them, whatever you can, because we know, not everyone will just work out where they're like, hey, yeah, come on over, list my house, and, that type of thing. So, and then prepare for the appointment, super important. So, kind of similar to, just doing the research before you reach out to them, make sure we're, make sure they didn't sell it, make sure it's not currently listed, things like that. If I'm going to chat with them, I gotta be prepared to like, was the price right? What was wrong? So, create that CMA, create an updated CMA, because the market changes every day. So just make sure you're prepared, and then actually have your marketing plan, have it in, sort of in front of you, and have a detailed thing like, hey, I list it today. We know as soon as we list it, because we're affiliated with ERA, the thing gets, it's on Zillow, it's on Realtor, it's on, all of the sites. So, that's one piece of it. But, and then, hey, I do this social thing, and I send postcards to all the neighbors, and, say it just listed, and, whatever we come up with. But having that plan, then I'm prepared for, anything that they may have for me when it gets to, when it gets to actually chatting with them and actually getting ready to tell them how I work different. So, so before we get into or for sale by owners, I am going to, so I'm going to just back up and so I'm going to pause here for just a second. And I want to see if you guys have any questions on expireds, any thoughts, anyone that has personally, maybe worked with one at this point, or anything. So I'm going to pause and just see what you guys have on expireds. Okay, so now I want to ask, does anyone have any interest in working expireds? Is that something that you think, you know, would be of interest to you? So Dwayne says yes. So anybody else that, yeah. So, you know, so again, you know, for sale by owner, you know, is one thing, but in expired, you know, I like I said before, I kind of find it, you know, to be a little intriguing, I guess, to, you know, a little bit of a, you know, I want to win this one. I want to win 1 out of 3. I want to win 1 out of 5, you know, something like that. So, you know, there are stats that show, you know, I think it's, you know, 55%, you know, will relist with a new agent, like 25% relist with, you know, the same agent. You know, there's some stats. So, you know, the stats are high to show that they, you know, that they do you relist because, you know, they do want to sell. But, you know, it just goes back to the fact that, you know, they are frustrated because, you know, that sign goes in the ground. They are telling their friends that we are selling. Like, no, we're selling. We are moving, you know, and again, downsizing, upsizing, going south, you know, whatever that situation is. But that sign's in the yard. They drive by it like, yes, we are selling our house. And when that doesn't happen, you know, or starts not happening 2 months, 3 months, you know, however long the listing is, you know, just realize that, you know, it definitely comes back to that, you know, they're a little grumpy, they're a little frustrated. So you know, we just got to kind of come in with, you know, soft hands and, you know, but having that research, having, you know, whether, you know, and again, not just blurting it out, you know, whether you realize that the pictures were bad or, you know, the price was too high to start with, you know, there are reasons things don't sell. And there's only a short handful, you know, of things, you know, maybe it was them. They didn't keep the house clean. So when people saw that, it was just a disaster. Who knows? But, you know, there are ways to sort of figure that out, have all of that in our toolbox. So when we get a shot to chat with them, you know, they understand kind of where we're coming from. And I'll say this, and I've said it before, you know, stats are huge. So that CMA, you know, and that's just so you know, that's one thing. If you guys have not seen RPR yet, there is a class video on it. So maybe I'll make a note and just send that to you guys if you guys want to, you know, just watch that. But there is an awesome CMA in there. So the CMA, if you've done one in the MLS, is, you know, hey, here are 3 houses that are similar to yours that sold, 3 that, you know, are listed, 3 that are, you know, with expired, you know, just kind of showing values. RPR will actually send one of the whole, you know, sort of the whole community. So not only some, you know, some homes that are similar to theirs, but we'll pull in community stuff, schools, things like that. So it's a very, I think it's like 70 pages, literally. So you can shrink it down if you want. But the fact is it looks like you just went above and beyond to kind of pull this data. So whether this is for an expired or, you know, a listing you're going on, a buyer you're working with, anything, there's a ton of data in RPR that will make it look like you're a superhero and went above and beyond. So definitely kind of pay attention to that. And again, I'll send that RPR recording and make sure you guys get it just so you can watch that and start getting familiar with that. And then when you get into RPR and stuff, they themselves have a ton of sessions that you can watch and get familiar with doing a specific thing. So. Okay, any other questions or thoughts on expireds? Are you good with expireds? Okay, so let's move to for sale by owners. So, you know, similar, these folks, you know, number one across the board is they don't want to pay commission. So, and one thing with our clients, our potential clients, you know, any consumer in the buying selling business is, I don't know if it's good or not, but they are more educated now than they ever have been. So, they still need us, or a version of us. I mean, obviously they could get lucky and sell it, but, they just, they're online and they're doing all the research and they could try to figure out what their house is. They can't figure out what their house is like we could, but they come up with a number and stuff. But number one reason is they're trying to get out of paying commission. So but they do know the market's crazy. They will chat with an agent, and get some, sort of get some background, like, oh yeah, stuff's flying on the market and values are up, or, whatever. So they kind of throw a price on it, stick the sign in the yard and throw it on a couple websites or put it on social, and see if they can sell it themselves. And obviously some do, but we're still high. We're still, at minimum in the mid 70s, where someone will list with with an agent. So, but like I said a little bit earlier, it's happening a lot now that agents are going to the for sale by owner, not to try to get the listing and like work them, but to say, I have a buyer right here that will look at your home. If you'll pay me or work with me on commission, can I show it to them and see if we can't do it, do something this way. In that case, the seller, I insist the seller pays me some commission, but they're not paying the full commission, we'll reduce it because I just showed up and sort of with a buyer. And they're kind of hoping to sell to a neighbor, a family or friend. A buyer contacted seller and didn't want to deal with an agent. So those are the main reasons, that someone is willing to take the time to, put the sign in the yard and do it themselves. But like I said, the number one reason is, they just think 6%, I got a $300,000 house, that's 18 grand, let me just try this myself. So, and there's, this is pretty cool. I'll actually send you guys, I got to send you guys the slides too. So, some of the data on the slides are cool. So I'll send you that, so you can kind of see this little graph. But I mean, the idea is, this is kind of the breakdown of the stats of NAR stats. That was 2019 of kind of what happened when they stuck the sign in the yard and not too many, end up selling, whether it was with an agent or not. So, so twofold here on a for sale by owner. So prior to a market being like super, super crazy, where folks are actually looking for homes, a for sale by owner, they've been around forever. So it's not like they're new just because the market's crazy. So working a for sale by owner to try to get the listing, because we still know that, a large chunk of them still end up listing with an agent. So if you see a for sale by owner and it's in a great neighborhood in your neighborhood, whatever, aside from the market being crazy, how do I talk with them? Because obviously they, they're not stupid. They put the sign in the yard. They did some homework. They put a value on it. But what could I offer them at this point? To maybe make them think, well, you know what? Let's pull the for sale by owner. Let's put Wayne's sign in the yard. They might not. Well, first of all, they might not be ready for it. So we can't go in guns blazing and going, what are you thinking? You can't sell that house yourself. I'd be much better to do it for you. You can't come in like that. So we start massaging them. So we start, asking, how much are you asking? And, I'm very familiar with the market. So, I'm just wondering if there's something I can do to help you try to sell it. So I will literally, believe me, I'm not spending, hours with them, and doing a bunch of things I don't do anything for them. I don't go take pictures for them or anything to help them try to sell it. But I am willing to, to help them figure out if the price is right, or if and then kind of put that in my back pocket. So maybe they're a little low, or maybe they're, high or something like that. I often will give them a property condition disclosure. So that property condition disclosure statement is mandatory by law. So even if you're selling it yourself, you have to fill one out. So just offering them that, like, hey, you're going to need this, so take the time to fill it out, just kind of have it. If you do end up selling yourself, it'll be something that you'll need, to get to the attorney or title or whoever, to, kind of help finalize the process, but it'll kind of save you a little bit of time and effort. So again, whatever I can offer them, I will encourage them, like, hey, good luck. I wish you all the luck in the world, because I'm just kind of building a rapport with them. My goal is when I'm, giving them little tidbits. My goal is that, when they do get fed up with it and maybe didn't have any luck, that 3 agents were like, I can sell it, I got buyers, and really didn't, like they were all, guns blazing kind of, and I was just laid back and just kind of giving them tidbits, trying to help them sell it. Obviously the goal is that they come back to me at that point. So, where to find, for sale by owners. So for sale by owner websites, FSBO.com. I think there is a for sale by owner.com. There's a ton of them. So even if you just go Google, for sale by owner, and just Google it, and then all the sites come up. So, sort of a way to start finding some that if you kind of want to be like, hey, look, I'm gonna kind of play with one and work out a process. Or if you truly have a buyer, and it's in the neighborhood that, man, something goes in the, sign goes in the ground and it's gone in a day, agent wise, not all those times those buyers have a chance to find this for sale by owner. Maybe they drove the neighborhood, saw a sign in the yard, maybe they didn't. Maybe they aren't going on for sale by owner to trying to find something. So, so they're missing exposure. But the fact is we have a shot to go to those sites and kind of see what's there and be like, hey man, that's right down the road. That's in a high traffic neighborhood. Let me kind of see what they're thinking, or what's happening with that, seeing if they have any luck, start building that rapport to potentially get that listing. So for sale by owner sites, Zillow does have a for sale by owner piece on there. So when you get the map up, all the different colored dots, thinking about selling, for sale by owner, obviously listed for sale, whatever. So they're all on there. And then signs in the yard, of course, classified ads and Craigslist. So, so just dabbling around in them, kind of see what's out there in your neighborhood or the neighborhood you want to work or are working, kind of like thinking along those farming, pieces, but, kind of see if you can, kind of find those. And start making a list and start, kind of putting a process together to reach out to them. That's the thought behind that, at least initially. So, contact by phone or knock on the door. Obviously, do not call regulations. But honestly, if they got a sign in, if you found it in the sign in the yard and there's a number on it, they just, they blew out the do not call. So you're fine because they got a sign in the yard. Obviously, I'm always upfront too. I'm not afraid to say, hey, Mr. Seller, saw your property is listed for sale. Just kind of, starting with kind of curious what you're listed at, and then give me a little bit of details about the property. And then if from there, I'll decide, my next steps. If I'm gonna, say I'm an agent and, happy to, help them sell it, or hey, I, have a potential buyer. Would you be interested in, in at least chatting about working together? So even if it was just this one time. But yeah, I mean, knocking on doors, knocking the door, kind of have something to leave them, information, leave them the property disclosure, things like that. Again, just kind of trying to show some value. So yeah, I'd like to stop by and take a look at your house. I'd like to stay, I like to stay on top of all inventory in my area. So, yes, I am a real estate agent. I just want to take a peek. I got something to leave you that'll help you in the, sort of in the selling process. But I'd love to, just kind of see what you have there. So that I have it, have it in my mind if, when I get the next call from a potential buyer. So there are ways that we can have this conversation without, just calling them up and going, oh man, what are you doing? You can't sell it yourself. You need an agent, and making them feel like an idiot for doing it. They did it for a reason. So let's kind of massage that but yet still show value, and also some compassion and some, offering them some help, to help them get it sold. Oh yeah, do not use the line, I have a buyer, unless you do, because I'm seeing it more now, where folks, will say that and they're like, okay, bring your buyer, and they're almost like testing them, like, do you really have a buyer, or are you just, bull crapping me and trying to get in the door, by saying you have a buyer, because that's old. I used to hear it done constantly. I have a buyer. Can I check, can I see it? And then they hope to get in the door and then, sell it and try to get listed by the time they leave. And they really never had anyone. So pay attention to that. Just make sure. But the idea is in reality, today we could truly have a buyer. We got buyers lined up. We got if you're in Cincinnati and you're, selling, in this area, I guarantee you another one of our agents has a buyer. So kind of knowing what the agents are doing in your office, what they're looking for. So a lot of them will post like, hey, I'm looking for a house in, I'm looking for a house in Mason. I'm looking for a house in Westchester, wherever they're looking for that, they'll post like a 3.2, under 300, whatever they're looking for. So look at that and go, well, there's a for sale by owner that's a 3.2 under 3. I wonder if I can, be a part of the connection, something like that. So again, just kind of paying attention to who's out there looking as well. If a seller tells you they don't want to list, you say, oh, I completely understand. You just like an opportunity to view the property. And again, if I have something that will help them, if I have the property condition disclosure, if I, whatever I want to take 5 minutes to do. So I'm not taking an hour to help them, but if I can take 5 minutes, I'm going to print a property disclosure. I'm going to, drop it off to them. That's an advantage. That's something that they will go, oh, well, that was nice. Andy didn't lie about having a buyer. He just said, we'll need this, again, little things that we can do. And then staying in touch with them, send them a text, 3 or 4 days later, like, hey, you having any luck? Again, good luck, good luck. Let me know if I can help, and then kind of staying in touch with them at that point, again, just to kind of coddle them. And again, hopefully, they get to the point where they say, you know what, we tried, it didn't work. We're sick of, having 30 people through the house on a weekend. Can you just handle this for us? Then you get that listing. And then, have information on you. So, so you guys have all, those rack cards, you have, of course, business cards. If you have anything about you and the company, a little packet, anything like that, make sure just make sure you have it on you, and you just kind of leave that in it. And of course, if you do give them a property condition, you're going to have a rack card or a business card, with it, and leave it. So then that's just, sitting around, because they're not going to take it and just toss it. They're going to, if you left just a business card, it might get tossed. But if you leave that property condition or something valuable to them, a CMA or something that's got your data on it, they'll keep it, and that'll just be in that file. And if 2 weeks, a month from now, or whatever time frame, they think like, oh man, maybe it's just time, we tried, you're going to be like, hey, where's that, pull it out, and then have your, have some information on you and the company, so that, so they, potentially reach out to you again, at least to chat. So yeah, if you get the appointment and can kind of, or, if you're door knocking and really think they're going to answer the door, and I know it's still a little weird with COVID. So some people freak out if you showed up at their door, some people wouldn't care, obviously, there's a wide variety there. But whether it's that, and if they open the door, I got to have something prepared, or if you're going to do like get an appointment and then do a leave behind, just prepared, like tips for staging, disclosures, which I talked about, that's something they're going to need. So, get it to them, CMA, and then follow up after. So, send notes, send emails, call or stop by, plan 5 to 8 contacts. So, as long as they're still available, just plan 5 to 8 contacts where you can mix, a phone call, or maybe now, better is a text, so that you're not bothering them. You just send them a text like, hey, hope everything's going well. How many showings did you have this week? Or, any offers, again, you're just like, without sending a text to go, are you guys ready to sell? Like, you guys got a list with me, and, trying to be pushy, every time you contact them. And when you contact them the third, the fourth time, and they haven't at that point said like, hey, we're going to list with you, and you're still contacting them, you have just built some trust with them. So that's huge when it comes to, sort of comes down to it, is you just build trust with him. Like, man, this guy's, he's kind of relentless. Like he's not even, asking that asking for the listing every time. He's just saying, hope you get an offer today, whatever you want to kind of chat with them with, is key when it gets to that point. And then keep track of your progress in Zap, so or CRM or whatever, notebooks, wherever. So make sure you're keeping track of that and having a little schedule. So send a text on 4/2, and then on 4/5, what are you going to do? I'm going to write a handwritten note real quick and send it to them. Whatever your plans are, kind of build that out. And the goal, obviously, is to potentially get that listing. So, but also, just kind of know, same thing with expireds or for sale by owner is, man, you kind of build that rapport, and you were offering them value. I mean, if they didn't list with you or sold it, just know that, that's a great referral base. So, if someone had worked me when I was a for sale by owner and was just trying to help me and seemed like they were, concerned because they're reaching out to me, 5 to 8 times, my neighbor, says, hey, I'm looking to sell, like, hey, we did for sale by owner. He's like, no, I want nothing to do with that. Well, here, I got an agent that was great when we were actually trying to sell on our own, or their family or friends, or, so whatever. So kind of just know this is multi-tiered. We're not just doing it to try to get one listing. We're trying to do it to build a rapport, and potentially use it as a referral base to get more buyers, sellers, whatever comes of it. I'm going to pause for just a second, just kind of see, anybody have any thoughts on for sale by owners? Anybody have any experience to this point with reaching out to one, or trying to, or wanting to? Because we could kind of go, a little bit deeper into, this or expires if someone wanted. So I'm going to pause for just a second and see if anybody has anything. All right. Hopefully you guys are finding this section valuable. Again, as I said in one of the first ones, this is we just kind of built this, kind of thinking, along the lines of new agents that, what you guys would find valuable. So hopefully you guys are finding this a valuable piece to, kind of put in your toolbox, and determine if or when you kind of want to bring it out and put it to work. So that's kind of the thought of course, everything we're doing here. All right. So now I'm gonna actually go to, oh, great. Thanks, Melissa. Appreciate that. So I'm gonna kind of skip to just in general prospecting for listings. So again, just cannot stress how important listings are. So, I mean, forever, and again, 11 years in the business, forever and ever, I have heard, listers last. So, I've heard it, from top agents to top national trainers, CEOs, whatever, listers last. So, so it's not new that like I'd love to have some listings, I personally love listings because, I mean, I can be sitting here with, working with you guys, and another agent's showing my listing. I can make a few bucks today if it sells. So, so I love listings because, it's just fun to have a listing, and it's fun to, to try to sell it yourself, or to, to have an agent call you and go, hey, I got an offer. So, but when you get in a market like today, and it won't last, we know it'll adjust a little bit. It has in the past. I mean, I could get a listing and do my homework and have that on the market. And in that time frame, man, I could be hammered with a buyer, like, just like, I need to see this house. I need to see it today at 10. If I don't see it today at 10 with you, I'm going to see it today at 10 with another agent, because I know it's going to be gone in 2 hours. Like, that is, like, we have some buyers, really all our agents, but, we have some buyer agents that, like, man, they are stressed out because, it's like, no, I can't plan anything, because if I take, an hour off, it's, I have a chance to miss seeing a house that my buyer wants, and then little behold, you actually get in the house, and then you got to write an offer based on knowing that there's going to be 10 other ones, so obviously, we do that. That's just a different kind of fun passion for me, but talking about listings, just kind of, the idea behind it is man, I kind of control my business. Like, I can get it, price it right, market it properly, take good pictures, things going to sell. So when we talk about SOI, which we had talked quite a bit about last session, and then got into Zap, we have to find a way to make sure we are in front of these folks. Again, friends and family, I don't walk up to them and go, are you looking to buy or sell? But we absolutely have to, be in front of them. They have to know we sell real estate, but it's also not horrible to not ask them if they're looking to buy or sell, but ask if they've heard someone that they know say something about buying or selling. So that's kind of a huge piece, is it's like, I kind of talked about it, I think, when I said, hey, share your website mobile app link, one of the two, like, share it, even with your friends and family, and go, hey, I need your help. Like, tell me what you think of this, play around with it. Like I'm new to this, I need your help. So same thing, like, hey, I need your help. Like, have you heard someone say, I'm looking to buy or sell? Or if you hear someone say, I'm looking to buy or sell in the next, from now on, like, mention my name, would you? Like, you can have that conversation with your friends, your family, your coworkers, previous coworkers, your neighbors, whatever. Because the fact is what's so important about the sphere is not only will, on average, and this is every new agent, that comes into the business, on average, about 80% of your beginning business will come from your sphere. It's just how it works, because if I walk up to someone that I know and that they know me and they trust me, and I tell them I'm a real estate agent, and I say, hey, I need your help, I mean, I say 100%, but close to 100% are going to go, what do you need? So if I say, hey, I need your help, okay. And then they're like, hey, look, basically you're telling them, well, you will use me as an agent, just for the record, but I'm really not asking you. I'm asking you to keep your ears peeled for me. And then, give them business cards, give everyone of your sphere, or your, the folks that you can, give them 10 business cards, give them 5 business cards, like, hand these out for me. If you hear something, hand it out. Again, I just need, like, you're saying, hey, talk to him. You don't have to say Wayne's the best agent in the world, but at least talk to Betty, like, give her, like, call her up, give her a shot, so kind of just asking that question will go a long ways. And everything we hear is that there's just a general fear to do it. But in reality, there shouldn't be, because again, those folks, know you, trust you, at some level, and we're just asking them for a favor. So, again, that favor can be in person, that favor can be in a text, that favor can be on social, that favor can be in a handwritten note. In all ways can be extremely effective. Like, I write handwritten notes that are basically saying, hey, I'm here. Let me know if you need anything. But also, if you hear of anything, from your family or friends or neighbors or whatever, please let them know I'm here for them as well. Every single one of my notes, if you do a social post. So, so please get it out there that you sell real estate, get it out there that you're here to help everyone, your friends and family and their friends and family, and just have it go down the line. And again, that sphere that you created is, whether it's 30 names or 500, no matter what it is, becomes this big, because all those people know you sell real estate and know you're able or willing to help them. And then just real quick before I forget, I talk a lot about handwritten notes. I'm a huge believer in handwritten notes. And when I talk about a handwritten note, it is not, it's not a typed note. It's a handwritten note. I don't write paragraphs. I will write 2 sentences, maybe 3, but probably 2. Hope all is well. Just wanted to touch base. Please let me know if you ever need anything. Again, here are a couple cards. Feel free to hand them out. Take care, Wayne. And that's handwritten. The envelope is handwritten, and there's a stamp put on it. And that just shows that I took the time to do that. I didn't print a letter, sign it, have an envelope printed, all of that. I actually took the time to do this and sent it to you. So whether I am doing that to my sphere, to my past clients, to a for sale by owner or an expired, always handwritten, always showing that I took that, extra second to do that. So I just wanted to kind of make sure you guys knew that. If anyone has any questions or any thoughts on that, let me know. But that when I talk about handwritten notes, just know that that's kind of the level I take it to. And I don't want it to be, all typed and someone gets it and, just tosses it. So super important that I, that it's handwritten, and I just feel they get opened more often. So, an assignment for this is I'd love you guys, it says 3, I would love you guys to, to sort of find, a for sale by owner, and just do something to engage them. Just find a, knock on the door, send them a handwritten note with a card, send them call them up and just ask them, hey, I will often say, like, I'm an agent in the, real estate agent in the market, not going to hound you for the listing, but I am interested because we do have buyers on my team, but I just need to know a little bit about your house. So just get, it's 2,000 square foot, listed at 275, whatever that is. Go, okay, I appreciate it. I'll let you know if I have any other questions, and then just hang up. So before you get, anything into asking or value propping, just kind of get the info and then stop. Make sure they know your name. So that way, when you follow up with a handwritten note or maybe the property condition disclosure with your business card in it. It was great chatting with you the other day. I appreciate you getting me the information. I was thinking about it. Just wanted to, let you know this is a disclosure that you would need, in the, on the event you get an offer. So I just wanted to make sure you had it prior to that, whatever you did. But, I'd love to see you guys grab at least one. And if you have 3 and you do the process, like, do it 3 times, because then you got obviously a better shot of landing one of them. But I'd love for you guys to see you guys do a for sale by owner and just kind of, like, get over the fear of hopping on the call. Like, the guy, if he hangs up on you, he hangs up on you, move on to the next one. But, once you do it, believe me, you will realize, like, hey, that wasn't so bad. Like, yeah, the guy if I said I was an agent, and didn't say, hey, I'm just if I tried to do anything, he probably would get grumpy with me. But I'm just trying to find out about the house because, first of all, I may actually have a buyer, but really, start building that rapport. So, work with some for sale by owners, and then let's find some expired. So, the MLS is just a wealth of knowledge for current expireds or expireds in the past. So go to the MLS. If anyone has any, needs any help with that, reach out to your office coordinator / office manager. They're more than happy to, kind of help you if you haven't quite done that search yet. But go pull, recent expireds, or go back 18 months and just make it specific. So, hey, I want to start with, $150,000 to $200,000 houses, or whatever your market, is, or, hey, I want to check out just this school district, or, whatever. So go pull them, kind of see what comes up, figure out the homework you need to do. So I get 123 Main Street. I need to go in the MLS and go like 123 Main Street and make sure that it didn't get relisted, make sure it didn't sell. And, the stats can be kind of weird with how you do it, but you just do that homework. Like, okay, that wasn't so bad. And then like, hey, I'm gonna send a note to these folks or whatever. And if you guys have any questions or want some help doing that, like if you get to the point where you're like, I don't know what to write, what can I send this person? You reach out to me directly. I will sit with you and help you do that and develop a process. I'll share you with, share with what I do, whatever. So, it's not, it's not a perfect system just because every person's different, every listing's different, but the idea is, you can quickly get something down. And then, just like everything we do, like I don't spend 8 hours a day on for sale by owners, but I'm going to dabble in for sale by owner once I have a system down, especially. Then I got expireds that are just kind of like, hey, look, I'm going to check expireds today. I got, an hour on expireds, so I'm kind of building my day, but these are, these are ways to get listings. You just got to kind of do it and then build that little system. And then you'll just have it down and like, expired. Okay, here, kind of go through that process. So again, would love to see you guys, work at least one for sale by owner. And then hammer, it says 3 expireds. I'd love you to hammer out, pull that list. If there's 20 on it, you're like, none of them sold. They're all still available. Whatever that number is, like work all 20 handwritten notes, 20 phone calls, 20, trying to figure out if these folks are interested in selling. So, 20 calls, whatever, numbers are in your favor. If you do more than 1, if you get to 3, if you get to 5, if you get to 7. So definitely want to see you guys work those. It's great experience. It's great. It's a great tool to figure out how to do something. Like, well, what am I doing next? Like, how do I do this in the MLS? Well, I guess I got to figure it out. So I'm a kind of a firm believer in making sure that you guys kind of learn with hands-on. So anybody have any questions to this point? I have just one more sort of slide session, and we're going to kind of get just a little deep in the last 20 minutes about working with buyers and making sure you work with buyers in the right way, so we're not wasting time and stuff. So that's what we're going to get into next. But just come on, again, as I'm stopping sharing this. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, seriously. In reality, I'm sure I will mention it each session, but in reality, you guys have access to me. So, email me or send me a text and say, hey, can I take, a little of your time? When can you meet with me or something? And just throw out like, hey, I got an expired question, just get a hold of me when you can. Just kind of a little crazy, but I will not read that text or save it or make a note. And believe me, as quick as I can reach out to you. So anytime we're going through any of this stuff, if I talked about Zap, you guys want to, get deeper, dig deeper in Zap, I'm happy to hop on a call with you guys to, to make sure you have everything that you need as you're building your business. So let me pull out of that, and then I am going to, I think I just did 4. I want to make sure, sorry, I just want to make sure that I, that is. I can ditch that one. Okay. Oops. So I'm going to kind of buzz through this one quick, and just because I want to talk about open houses real quick. So, I mean, you know, every agent you talk to will have a different spin on open house. Oh, I don't like doing them. They're not worth it, you know, whatever. I, there's no right answer, no wrong answer to this, but they can be very valuable. So a very valuable, you know, to your client to say, hey, I'm going to do an open house. Oh, great. Another way to market my house. Awesome place to actually meet clients. So, so if you guys do not have a listing yet, or it's sold or whatever, or we know they're selling quick. So I get it. But reach out to an agent in your office and offer to do an open house for them. So just say, hey, look, you know, I'm new. I don't have a listing. I don't have a listing yet, whatever. Reach out and offer to do an open house. So there are listings on the market. So not every house is selling in a day or an hour or whatever. So there are homes that you can, you know, do an open house for an agent. And usually the way it happens, you make sure with the agent that the listing's for. Usually what happens is you get all the buyers. So like, you know, you get 2 buyers, you get 10 buyers through, you know, you get their names and numbers. And if you write an offer on the house, you just wrote an offer. If not, like, nah, not the right house for me. Hey, like, what are you guys looking for? I'm happy to, you know, try to send you some listings or, you know, put you on an automatic drip kind of thing. So great way to meet folks, great way to learn, just a great way to learn interaction with clients. You know, what to say, what not to say, you know, like what clients say when they walk in a kitchen, and you're just kind of sitting back going, hey, I'm just at an open house. But you see 3 people today, you see 5 people tomorrow, you know, whatever, you know, you're learning the market, you're learning the house, you know, you're learning what buyers say and look for and point at and things like that. So super cool to do open houses and just meet clients and gather clients and kind of put them in your pocket, you know, so. You know, obviously, you know, you put up signs, but I don't want to spend a lot of time on this just because an agent that you offer to do one for will help you through all this. But I want to kind of, let me get this big so you guys can see it. So, you know, buyer leads, number 1. So, you know, so if buyers come through, that isn't the right house for them, offer like, hey, look, I'm happy to help you. Listing leads, so neighbors see it. You know, obviously if a buyer comes in, they might have a house to sell. So lots of opportunities. I mean, buyer and listing leads that come from the potential of doing an open house. So, you know, and really you don't have to do much, like, hey, I'll do it Saturday noon to 2 or 2 to, you know, 10 to 12 or whatever the time is. I'll just do it for you. And like, I just got to show up, maybe put some signs in the yard so I can market it. Make sure you can market it in the MLS. So, you know, you can in the MLS, and then all the partner sites say, hey, we're doing an open house. So if I go look at the listing today, guess what? I see there's an open house Saturday at, you know, I can go at Saturday at noon. I don't have to, you know, reach out to an agent. I can just kind of pop in and see the house. So great ways to, you know, for you to get familiar, to start learning the market, and then potentially get clients, you know, from the open house. And believe me, I still hear to this day, you know, open house, it was a waste of time. And I hear, not only did I sell the house, like I got 2 other clients, you know, that type of thing. So it's wide open. There's no, you know, no idea really of what's going to happen today if you go do an open house. But the idea is you will meet some folks, you'll learn, and it'll help kind of put you in a better place, but also obviously, you know, fill your pockets with clients. So, you know, obviously the main goal of an open house is to sell it, you know, like, you know, so if I'm an agent, it's my house, I do the open house, I'm like, man, maybe I want to get a buyer for it, I want to sell it, you know. It helps, you know, the sellers, you know, if they're willing to do one, they love it because that's just another marketing idea. But me just doing one for another agent, I'm just there to get more clients, you know, and learn as well, because I'm newer. So, I mean, and look through the market, I mean, if something gets listed on, meet with an agent that's listing properties and go, hey, look, the next time you list, if you list it on Saturday, if it's going to be live Saturday, like I'll do an open house Saturday noon to 2 and just, take all that traffic while it's being listed. Or if they're listing and one's been on the market, offer to do it for them. Like, man, that's been on the market for like 2 weeks. I'm happy to do an open house for you. So kind of find an agent, find 2 agents, find a, find a neighborhood that has a listing and then go to that agent, whatever you want. But it's really just an awesome piece for you to throw yourself out there to, I mean, you'll quickly learn that you'll be learning from that agent, because the agent's going to be like, hey, here's everything about the house. Here's the client. This is kind of how I want you to represent it. And you're like, man, I just got a lot in really all I did was offer to do an open house. But absolutely knowing that your goal is I want 3 clients today. I want 3 clients to walk in and go, not the right house. Hey, I'm happy to send you listings. Okay. And then get 3 clients from that. So the option is to do in-person or virtual. So I like in person, especially because we can, and it's obviously opened back up to do that, and folks are getting out there, obviously still being safe and all that. But the option is for virtual or live. I'm going to actually skip that virtual video. I'll send that to you guys though. Just real quick, preparing for this. So either meet with the agent that has, if it's not your listing, meet with the agent that has the listing and just understand the house. So, understand the market, understand what's happening, understand the price, just make sure, so you're not just there. You don't open the door and go, oh, okay, I'm just here, like act like it's your listing, so that you can answer all the questions that day and know what's happening in the market. So if someone says like, hey, is there anything else for sale in the market? Things like that. So, and then just have a sign-in sheet. Be ready to share your mobile app. So we talked about the mobile app in Zap. You can share that easily. So share that with folks. I mean, you've got to get their information so that you can stay in touch with them. And sometimes sharing your mobile app by text is the best way, because guess what? You just got their cell number. So, without them needing to write something down, which sometimes makes them nervous. So, again, ways to kind of prep for that. So I just kind of wanted, that is kind of as far as I wanted to go with the open houses, but any questions on that, please let me know right now. I'll pause for just a second. Again, just know that those open houses are just valuable gems for you right now as newer agents. Getting to learn the market, getting to work with an agent that gets listings that's experienced, little tidbits you can get from them, getting ready for the open house, and then of course the potential to grab 1, 2, however many potential buyers or sellers. So lots of valuable stuff there. Again, office manager will be a great piece to help you, get in touch with an agent if you have not met that agent, or bring the topic up to take it and run with it, help you through all that. So I'm happy to do it. But in your local office, if you kind of need that connection, that's a great piece to. Oh, cool. Oh, Bryce is doing. So Bryce, I'm going to pause for a second. Are you licensed to this point? Or are you still kind of working through that?
I think I am licensed. They were supposed to issue it on the 30th.
Okay, cool.
Because my birthday was on the 29th, and they reached out and they said, hey, let's wait 5 days so you don't have to pay that extra $182. So yeah, they were nice enough to reach out first. So I believe it's been issued. I have to check with her, but I think they already have it. Yeah, I have my Matt Piper gave me my number, my license number. So
perfect. Well, congratulations, happy birthday.
Thanks.
And have fun with Jillian. So are you doing the open house on her new listing like 620?
Yeah,
that's awesome. So so Bryce is doing an open house with one of our top agents in Columbus. you know, today. So it'll be awesome to maybe hear how it went on Monday. You know, but you know, now doing it with her is even like that's on top of it. So you're gonna be able to learn. You're gonna be able to ask her questions throughout. You're gonna be able to see how she interacts. So that's a great way. I didn't think about actually doing one with another agent, but the idea of doing one with another agent's pretty cool to you know, to see how she talks to a client or a
Yeah,
consumer
for
going
sure.
through, and there'll be a lot there that you get. So that's awesome. I love it.
I'll be on Mondays 10 o'clock, so I can share anything.
Yeah, no, definitely we'll be anxious to kind of hear how it went and what you got from it. And from this point on, you know, like you do that with her. The idea is, you know, next time you say, hey, look, you know, Jillian, can I just do one? You know, because, you know, she'll yeah, then you do one on your own, and you know, then you're even, you know, further along. So very cool.
Awesome.
Good luck.
Thanks.
All right. So that's cool. I love that. So I am going to just finish the last 10 minutes with kind of working with buyers. So one other, and we do so many sessions, but one other session that I just did is with Carol Pragan, who works with us on a contract, but she's a national trainer. She is trained as a Floyd Wickman coach trainer. So she's helping us, and she helped us build this. And her and I did a session last month on our agent tool of the month, which we do the third Thursday of every month, agent tool of the month. The last one we did was helping you stand out in the agent world. So we had 8,000 agents in the market. You know, how do I stand out? And we actually, you know, went through a bunch of things. So I'll actually send you that one. And when I send you these, you know, hopefully you can watch them, but even if you just watch them like, hey, one today, half today, I'll finish it on Monday, you know, watch them when you can. But I'll make a note and send you guys that one as well. But we did actually add a little bit more to working with buyers, and we talked about, you know, doing an interview. So, you know, so again, my world, you know, or when you first start, it's natural to just go, I need a buyer, I need a seller, I'll do anything to get a buyer or seller because I need something, you know, I want something. So, you know, just, you know, so, you know, a buyer comes across your desk and they want to see 6 homes. Like, hey, I want to see these 6 homes. I mean, I remember, you know, early on going, okay, let's go look at them. You know, and then I get, you know, set up to 6 homes, and we're going through them all. And I don't know, we get to the second home and they're like, we pull in the driveway and they're like, yeah, no, we don't even have to go in. And I'm like, huh, okay. All right, I guess we'll move on to the next one. You know, I'm learning as I go through the, you know, that first time I go, you know, I'm not going to have that happen again. I had to set that up. We drove over there, and because we didn't do a little work prior, you don't even want to go in because of what you saw from the street, you know? So, you know, so just kind of know like a what we call a buyer interview, a buyer qualifying, is so, you know, guess what? I'm not just hopping in a car and driving around because I'm bored. You know, let's figure out exactly what you want, what you're looking for, what you will, you know, if the house does not have this, I will not buy it. It needs 2 bathrooms. I am not going to look at a house with 1 bathroom. Don't even do it. You know, and then lo and behold, guess what? They are sending you listings with houses with 1 bathroom. And if you were like, let's go look at it, and then you get there and it's only 1 bathroom. So a lot of times it's educating them like, hey, I don't know if you guys realize this, but this one only has 1 bathroom. They're like, oh my goodness, thank you for noticing that. No, we do not want to go see it. I often, again, I know today's market is just a little different, but it will get back to normal sooner or later. I have folks drive by properties. I go, look, you guys go drive by the property, you know, check it out, and then let me know. So if it's the house that's going to sell in an hour, you know, and I know the neighborhood, we're going to go look at it. But, you know, I'll do everything I can to whittle that 6 down to 2 or whatever it needs to be, so that I'm not walking in a house I shouldn't, not so that I don't pull in the driveway and, you know, and they're like, no, you know, so again, just kind of taking the time to, you know, and they actually see value in you taking the time to go, look, you know, neither one of us want time to be wasted. I don't want to send you listings that, you know, that aren't of interest. You know, I don't want to go out and show you houses that you have no interest in. You don't want to take an hour on Saturday to see a house you have no interest in. So let's have the conversation. Let's actually stop it. We love it when it's in person, because then you're face to face. But, you know, even in today's, you know, world, by Zoom, you know, okay, I just want to take a minute. I want to, you know, figure out exactly what you guys are looking for. This school district. So you want no other school district? No. Okay. You know, we need a 2-car garage. Okay. You know, we'd love a, okay. So love is not as, you know, crucial, but when you take that time, you know, and then you're sending them listings that matter to them. Then when you go out to look at a home, you know, they don't pull in the driveway and go, nope, don't even want to go in. You know, that's the goal. It's not a perfect world, but, you know, the more conversations I have with them, first of all, the more value they see in me, because I'm actually taking the time to learn what they want and not just, you know, haphazardly wasting their time or mine. So taking the time to have that interview, you know, just it means a lot. And it actually, you know, you'll start learning their passions. You'll start learning, you know, everything about them, so that you can connect more with them and be the best agent that you can for them. And they will see it back, you know, back to you. So just kind of knowing that, you know, that you have that conversation, and then also making sure that they are pre-qualified. I mean, there is nothing worse than running out to see a house, and finding out that they can't even buy or can't afford that house. Like if you know, if you don't want to have that conversation to, you know, be like, hey, look, you got to be pre-qualified. First of all, we can't even put you know, like even in today's market, we can't put an offer in on a house if you don't have a pre-qual. So if you can't send it to me, I'm kind of figuring out, like, are you pre-qualified? Because we will need it, you know, to put an offer in on that house, because they're not just taking an offer. You know, I don't give a crap what it is. You know, they're not, we can go 50 grand over, but if you don't have something that shows you can buy it, you know, they're not accepting it. So, so both understanding what they want in a house, or what they're thinking, or where they are in the process of, if they saw the house today, they would buy it, or are they 3 months out? Like, we just need to know it all. And then obviously the huge piece of them, you know, being, you know, knowing what they can afford, so that you're not looking at 400s if they only can do 300, or, you know, or whatever the, you know, whatever that scenario is. So, you know, so just super important that you actually take the time to, you know, to have that conversation, even in today's market. You know, you can take 10 minutes to whittle down exactly what they want, and then, you know, 10 minutes to get a pre-qual, or get them pre-qual, so that, you know, you're good to go and you're not wasting anyone's time. So, you know, so obviously, yeah, like, you know, meet the folks in person, or, you know, meet them at the first appointment, but, you know, just meet them in person, and it can be virtual, and then get them pre-qualified. Likely they, you know, a lot these days are getting pre-qualified and are prepared, but also send me a copy of that. Oh, I just need that pre-qual. Just put it in my file, you know, so that you know that they're truly good to go. Okay, so we got 5 minutes here. I just want to finish this up, but and I will send you the call with Carol, where we actually go deeper in this. So we do have a questionnaire, and I'm gonna kind of put together an email today and make sure you guys get this, so you kind of have an idea, like, hey, what should I ask them? You know, especially if you're newer to this and haven't done it, you know, definitely want to, you know, kind of go down through a checklist that helps you, you know, or guides you through, you know, what questions to ask and how to respond to questions. So how soon do you need some basics? How soon do you need to move? How long have you been looking? Have you found, in my favorite, if you found a house today that meets your needs and had everything you wanted, what would you do? And if that's like, well, we put in an offer. All right, we're good to go. You know, if it's like, oh, you know, I think, you know, whatever, you'll learn kind of where they are, where they truly are in that process, just with those 3 questions. And I'm not afraid to ask if I get the feeling that they've been looking for, you know, a year, which is not uncommon. If they've been looking a year, I'm not afraid to ask or tiptoe around if they've worked with an agent in the past, because there's not much worse than, you know, them wanting to see a house with me but really having another agent. If they've worked with an agent and don't say that they are their agent, I have no issue, you know, moving forward with them. You know, just making sure that they don't have a commitment to another agent is important, or that, you know, you're not stepping on toes and things like that. So kind of just making sure that you know, the goal is with all of these is that you're going to show value and you're going to be their agent. No, you're not going to call another agent. You're not going to stop, you know, you're not going to talk to another agent. I'm doing all this so that we are connected and I know what you want. You know, I know what you want, and we're going to work together. So that's kind of the idea of this consultation, is to make that connection and show value so that they don't need another agent. And that is besides not wasting time and knowing what they want, the main reason is to build a rapport. So, and there's some sample questions, and like I said, I'll send you this, you know, these slides so you guys can kind of, you know, you can take a picture of that, or if you know, I'll send you these so that you guys can kind of build your own consultation, or I'll send you one and then you guys can, you know, tweak it with, you know, with as you go. Especially, you know, you'd be like, hey, I want to add this question, I want to take this one out. I don't ask that question, you know, that type of thing. You guys can build from that. So there's another video I'm actually just going to skip. So ask questions, get input, tell buyers how you work, and you get paid. So this is probably one of the, I'll mention it, but we had a great conversation with Carol, just her and I, and obviously we had a group on, but we were kind of, you know, playing it on making sure folks know how you get paid. So, you know, look, I'm going to have this buyer, you know, I'm showing you houses. I've shown you houses for, you know, 2 months, and we've seen 20 houses, and I put in 2 offers. And then you just go ask another agent to, you know, like, I don't get paid. I don't get a paycheck every day. I work, you know, I showed value to you. We were connected. I was working my butt off for you. You know, when I'm able to sell you a home, you know, then I get paid when it closes. So, you know, having an honest conversation with how we get paid, you know, I have it all the time. I have it with the sellers, like, you know, 6%. And like, you think I get all that? You know, I get a chunk of this and a chunk of that and a chunk of that, you know, and then also knowing that, you know, when you talk to buyers, you know, man, I get paid when I find you a home, but, you know, I didn't just, you know, meet you today, look at one home and do it, you know, like we have this rapport. I've done a lot of work for you. You know, I need to get paid a certain amount when I find your home. So we had a great conversation. So, you know, it'd be worth a watch for that agent tool of the month with Carol. But again, it's just important to, you know, to kind of, you know, make sure all of our folks know how we work and how we get paid. And then we do have a buyer agreement that says, you're just going to buy a house from me. So we've agreed that I'm going to offer this, and all you have to do is buy a house from me. So if you see a for sale by owner, you know, you're going to bring me into the deal and not just go make a deal. You're not going to call another agent. You know, I'm going to get paid, you know, either from you or, you know, you buying a house with me. But that's a great agreement to have, because then, you know, every minute you spend with that person is going to lead to money, instead of like, hey, I'm going to spend all this time with you and then you're going to jump ship and I'm going to lose you and I made $0. So never a perfect scenario to in general, you know, but there are ways to have that conversation and have some folks agree to it, because you just, they know the value you're giving them. So, you know, a couple more things. I know it's 11:02, so I'm not going to keep you more than 5 more minutes. So if you guys can bear with me, but, you know, group your buyers. So, you know, when you have the conversation, you know who is buying today, you know who's, 90 days out, and not that you don't, but if buyer buying now shows up today, you're like, hey, look, I got to go show you houses. Buyer 90 who's still just kind of dabbling, not that you, push them aside till tomorrow, but like deal with the buyer that's buying now, and then like, hey, 90-day guy, are you available? And then set up an appointment. So you're working with them the same, but just so you understand, just so that you don't lose anyone, it's super important that, just because they're 90 days out, they could be a year out. You still want to keep them in your pocket because you'll sell them a house a year from now. But there's nothing worse than losing or forgetting about folks just because they went quiet. One thing that we have to realize is if I get a lead today, they could be, the average is that they're 18 months out from buying. That's the average. So that's crazy to think that, but also guess what? I'm going to be in business 18 months from now. So I want to sell that person a house 18 months from now. I just got to figure out how to remember them. And that's using the CRM. That's, using something to help you remember those folks so that you don't forget, them. And then they go buy a house from another agent, when you would still be willing to work with them. So just understanding where everyone is and what their time frame is, and then figuring out how to stay in touch with all of them and just kind of keep the juggling going without stressing yourself out. I don't stress out about an 18-month buyer, but you better believe I want to stay in touch with them because I want to sell them a house. So just kind of important to realize that. Again, this preparing to show, this is awesome if you guys connect with an agent in your office or your office manager, to kind of get down the preparing for the show. Like, what data should I have to go show a house? I don't just show up and go, well, there's the kitchen, how long have they owned it? What are taxes? What are utilities? What are, whatever data you can get, will just help you prepare to get to show more value to that buyer. So when you have all that data or have it or say, okay, I'm going to get the utilities and then get it as quick as you can, you're showing more value to that buyer and showing them like, why am I working with Wayne? Oh, that's why I'm working with Wayne, because he's prepared and he does more than just open the door and let me in. So lots of things that we can do. And again, just make sure, you have that conversation with them, but prepare, like I said, office managers and, an agent in your office, agents in our office, the office managers, everyone will share whatever they want, can, and whatever you want with them. So they'll give you all the knowledge they have. So just don't be afraid to ask for it and to then use it, use it to your advantage. So. And then just, you can show everything on the market. Make sure they know, like, oh, I called because it was, one of your ERA's listings. Like, no, I can show Keller Williams. I can show, Huff. I can show, Sipsy. I can show any listing in the market. Make sure they know that, so that, they don't think they have to call, like, oh, I got to call John today because that's his listing. No, I can help them. So yeah, so last slide, just how quickly a buyer finds the property they want to purchase depends on the ability to ask questions and listen. So, the availability for you to say 3-bed, 2-bath, that's what I'm looking for you in all the other data they want. Like it just, it will be so that they will see tons and tons and tons of value if you just have that conversation with them instead of just winging it and asking them a question every time you see them. Figure it out and then grow from it. And then if I do that homework and I'm sending the right properties and we're not going to see homes that don't fit their criteria, most buyers will find the home they want to buy in the first 3 outings. Not set in stone by any means. Obviously, we know that, especially if we're fighting to even win an offer. But the idea is if I prepare it, you know, maybe we would go look at 2 houses today, but we're not going to look at them because they don't fit their criteria. So we just kind of ditch today, and now we're not going to go out till tomorrow or the weekend or whatever. But the idea is, you know, let's just whittle that down. Let's have conversations to not waste anyone's time. And in reality, I'll say this a lot, like, of course, I'm always like, I want to help you out. But, you know, in reality, I look at myself and go like, I'm not going to go out and show houses today if they don't fit your criteria. You know, I'm not that bored. Like, I got other stuff to do. I got family, I got work to do. I have other buyers that I can show properties to. I'm not bored. I'm not doing this because I'm bored. I'm doing this to make money and to support my family. So, so just conversations that you have internally, and, as you guys grow and just grow in your business and get more experience, it'll all just start falling into place. So, and you'll show a house to someone that goes, oh, no way, or you probably will pull up in a driveway and they'll be like, nope, don't even, it'll happen. But the goal is if we can do some things to limit that, it'll help us, in the long run. So, all right. So I'm going to send you an email today with some recordings, 2 recordings, and then the slides, so that you guys have all of this, just to have as referenced, obviously to look at or rewatch the recording if you wish. But I definitely want to thank you guys for taking the time on a Saturday to be on the call. I know you guys are learning and stuff, so I love it. I appreciate you showing up. Please let me know if you have any questions, if you are working on things. I don't care if it's this or anything. Don't have your office manager, office coordinator always available to you. And then if you text me something and I don't know the answer, or if it's more local, I will hook you up. But I am always available for you guys. So, send me a text, ask a question, say, hey, call me, can you meet with me or something? Happy to do that. So thank you guys. Thank you guys. Have a great Easter. And we will see you Monday morning at 10. And we're going to kind of continue to take a deep dive into the whole buyer pool and working with buyers. So that's kind of what we're going to do for the most part on Monday. So we'll get, continue this deep dive. Good luck, Bryce. Hopefully you sell a $600,000 house today. Have a great weekend. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.